Before we begin the tutorial, you're going to need to find the Element 3D plugin, as it does not come with After Effects. So try to find that before you start the tutorial. Let's get right into it. So first things first, you want to add your text, whatever you want. I'm just going to write down text and then just align it, center it up, and then change the text size to however big you want it to fit the screen. We can change it later. And then you want to add a solid layer. So Control Y, doesn't matter which color you choose, it's not going to matter. And then you want to add the element effect. Come over here to custom layers on the left side. Change the path layer 1 to text. Close this and then open up scene setup. Once you're at something like this, click on extrude and come over to presets and bevels. Physical, you can change it to whatever you want, doesn't really matter. I'll go with gold rim as it looks the nicest. And you can change, if you come up here on the top right to extrusion model, you can change the textures on either or of these. So from shiny, you can choose from materials. These are plugins that you have to get. They don't come with After Effects, so you would have to go on YouTube and find a tutorial on how to get them. But these are the ones you can choose from. I recommend getting this as it has a lot of presets already, and mostly everyone uses this in their videos. But yeah, black steel looks the best, so I'll choose that for the inside. And gold basic, I think it looks fine already. You don't really have to change that. So just like this, you can come over here to black steel and go to the bevel, and you can change the bevel size to whatever. So you could extrude it like that. I don't know why you would do that though. And close it in to get that gold out. So just to get that extra gold out right around here. So like that, and then gold basic. Again, you could extrude it if you want, but you're not going to see the black as much. So just keep it like that. And from here, you can just change the settings if you want. So gold basic, you come down here and change the color to whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. You can just change it to something like that if you want, but I'll just keep it at gold. So there's a lot of customization with this, but I'm just going to keep it default for now since it's just a tutorial. You can go more into messing around with it if you want, but once you're done with that, just click OK on the top right, and then you can turn off the text right here. Here you can't really tell the inside just because it's a black background, but if you were to add another layer or something, or even if it's on top of a anime edit, then you're gonna see obviously the text inside of the color. But for this, I'm just gonna use a gray background because I don't have an edit right now. So from here, obviously it's not moving or anything like that. So you would come to group 1 to particle look and then multi-object and enable it. Once you have it enabled, just close this down here, and from here you have all the customization. So you can rotate it like that, the rotation, everything. So you could have something like that if you wanted. I think first what I would do is this place, so have it extend out, and then you can just keyframe that, and then at the end just have it come in almost to default right around here, I would say. And you could even change the rotation, so something like this, and then just, oh, wrong one, I didn't even keyframe it. Wow. So something like this, and then just you could have it rotate out. It'll be something like this. If you want it to be faster, you can hit U on your keyboard and hit F9 on these keyframes down here, and go to the graph editor and just change this graph down to something tight down here on the bottom left, and it'll come in faster and it'll slow down. So then just do the same with the top keyframe, and you kind of just want to match it, because then if it's off, it's gonna look weird. So something like this, like a slow motion effect, or even you could just change the rotation on this if it's too far looking down. So then just fix that. And there you go. You get something like that. And if you think it's too far out, like too zoomed out, you can just come back into scene setup and you can use the Z axis to move it forward and it'll come up closer, or you can use it to go far back. So you could do it like that and it'll just go further back out. So you're not having to go into position and then moving it, which you really can't. And then you have to go over here, 3D mode, and move the Z space. So you could do this, but it's just a lot of extra steps for no reason when you could just do it in the scene setup. A lot faster, a lot easier. But yeah, so just something close up, I would say, for this text. So you could see it better. And you'll get something like that. You could also add drop shadow to this effect, and you'll get a little bit of a shadow behind the text. So you could up the opacity and the direction you want the shadow to be in. Something like that. And boom. You'll get that shadowy effect right behind the text, which looks a lot cleaner and it'll look more realistic to the edit, so it doesn't look that much off. But yeah, you can do something like that. A little bit of shine. This is also a plugin you'd have to get, so you could have shine where the shine reflects off the text itself, and you would come over to colorize and just you can change it to a one color. So you could have that one color and you could just change this to whatever you wanted, blue, whatever, gold, doesn't really matter. We'll keep it at gold because that's what the text is. And you can also change the ray length to something that's default like this, or you could bring it in to make it just a little bit brighter around the text. So you could add something like this just to make your text pop out a lot more. You can also just play around more with the text inside the scene setup on the 3D space. There's a lot more you can do with these settings down here. A lot more you can do. You can change, I know you can change the environment of the background, so that way it matches the environment of, like, say you're doing a Naruto edit. You can match it with the Naruto scene. It's just a lot more work you have to go into and just make the tutorial stretch out a lot longer, but you can kind of just figure it out over here in the textures on environment. You can also change some of these other settings. Most of it you're not going to need, like advanced, you're not going to need any of that most of the time. Wireframe, not really. But some of these you will need. You can just play around with it, move it up left and right, and you can see what it does to the text. But yeah, this is just a basic basis of what you can do with something like this. And you can always just change the material inside. You just click on it and then just change the material. You're not always stuck to it or have to reset. You can always just change it to whatever you want, and it'll change in here. And then you just change the ray length. Something like that happens, change the ray length or the color, or even white. So white would look better like that. Gives you that shine. So yeah, something like that. That looks pretty nice actually. But yeah, once you have a anime scene inside it, you will get obviously you won't have a gray solid background, but it'll look like something like this. Next video I'll go over glow. Glow on your characters, eyes, clothes, whatever. I'll go over that. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I'll try my best to show you both methods. You'll also need some of these plugins, so I would try to get that. You would need BCC Linear Color Key, and I think you'll also need Deep Glow as well. That would be it. So yeah, just try to get this if you can. Let me see if I could drag it in, what it does. Yeah, so it'll look something like that once you get it. But yeah, that's it for this tutorial. I hope this helped you in some way, shape, or form. It was super simple, it's super easy. It's not hard like the others, like Twixtor and all that. This is probably one of the easier tutorials to make. I don't even use 3D text that much, but I know learning it as a beginner is like, oh, it's pretty cool. So you can always just use this whenever you want. But yeah, I'll see you in the glowing tutorial.